so much.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Richard Burthus from the Office of Protocol for the City of Toronto, and we are so grateful to be here at the Blake Early Learning and Childcare Centre this morning. Now, last year the centre launched the Toronto Early Learning and Childcare Service logo, which is behind me here, along with a lovely key, which was designed by the young people here in the centre for the day. But the logo here is also on the front entrance of childcare centres, which signals and highlights the commitment of the city and this service to truth and reconciliation, confronting anti-Black racism, support for 2S LGBTQ+ families, and also represents that our programs are inclusive and welcoming for all families. With that, I would like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous people of all lands that we are on. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of this land, which we each call home. It is important that we reaffirm our commitment and responsibility to improve relationships between nations and in learning about the history of this land, to better understand our role as residents, neighbors, partners, and caretakers. We are gathering today on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississauga of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. And of course, Toronto is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by the Treaty 13 signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit. And now it is my great pleasure to invite Her Worship Mayor Olivia Chow to speak and introduce the special guests who we are all here to honor. Your Worship.
There are shorter people in this place than very short. Good morning. So wonderful stepping in an early learning center full of smiles and sunshine, lots of joy. I can hear some of the kids behind us, huh? Thank you for joining us here at the Blake Street Early Learning and Childcare Center. I am so honored to be here with all of you as we celebrate someone truly deserving of recognition. The amazing Martha Friendly. A fun fact, Martha's grandchildren attended this childcare center, and she used to come 3 or 4 days a week to pick them up. In fact, 3 of the staff that worked then is still here, and so it's a perfect place to celebrate her role in making childcare early learning a reality in our city and our country. Now, the key to the city is one of Toronto's highest honors, which I can grant, given to those who have made an extraordinary impact on our city. It's my first key. And how fitting is it that it would be a first duty for someone that have dedicated her life for the well-being of the little ones, our children. So it's a perfect day to be celebrating Martha's work, because today is also the 24th annual Early Childhood Educator Appreciation Day. We know that early childhood educators and childcare workers are the foundation, the cornerstone of our early learning and care service. They nurture, guide, and help our children grow with lots of love, lots of care, lots of intellectual stimulation. I'm just even watching. Oh, okay, so I'm seeing it right in front of me now. And help guide our children grow and lay the groundwork for their future successes. And the type of publicly funded child care service that Martha Friendly has spent her entire career researching and advocating for and promoting is one that treats ECEs, the workers, and child care workers with respect, with honor, with appropriate compensation. It's a system that ensures them decent work and decent pay. So for all the incredible commitment and hard work and dedication on behalf of the City of Toronto, I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to not just Martha Friendly, but to all the educators and childcare workers for the invaluable contribution to our children, families, and communities. Let's give all the childcare early educators a big round of applause. Thank you. Now, 5 decades, that's a long time. 5 decades. Someone that have spent her entire career, life dedicated to advocating for better early learning and care. Martha Friendly has been a trailblazer, shaping policies that have improved access to quality childcare for families across Toronto and beyond. Her work has strengthened early learning system. Her commitment to the cause have touched the lives of countless children and families, help us build stronger and inclusive communities. She's relentless. That is a word, right? Because through the years, been up and down. It was the Prime Minister Brian Mulroney. Okay, that came close for a universal program, didn't quite get there. And then it was the Paul Martin, didn't quite get there. And now, I think we are getting a lot closer. It's that publicly funded early learning system, the one that Martha has been telling us to build for years, that will finally make sure there's affordable fees, universally available, high quality, decent work, and pay for educators. What else? Public system that Martha has been advocating for. So as Mayor of Toronto, I'm privileged to stand here and recognize the efforts of Martha Friendly, who has made Toronto a better place for kids, for our children, for families, for all of us. Now, before I present Martha with the key, I want Torontonians to know if there's someone like Martha Friendly, well, never quite like her, but someone maybe of a different field in your community who you feel is worthy of getting the city's highest honor, reach out. We want you to nominate them. Visit mayoroliviachow.ca/key to the city. Tell us who you want to nominate. I want to thank all of you for attending, and congratulations to Martha Friendly on this well-deserved honor. And I get to have a citation, and the citation to Martha Friendly. Martha Friendly is awarded this key to the city for being a leading advocate, policy researcher, and expert in Canada's childcare movement for more than 50 years. After immigrating to Canada in 1971, Martha was part of a grassroots childcare movement in Toronto, which linked access to quality care to women's equality. Martha founded the Childcare Resources and Research Unit, CRRU, in the 1980s, and has been influential in shaping social policies impacting early childhood education. Together with other champions and advocates across Canada, Martha Friendly has been able to persuade the federal government to establish a universal, high-quality early childhood education and care program in Canada. Now it is my honor to invite Martha to join me and receive this key to the city and the certificate and say a few words. My honor to invite Martha to join me. Say a few words.
Okay, of course I have a few words to say, something about where we're at. But I just first want to say, I'm so better? Yes. Thrilled to be Mayor Chow's first recipient of the Key to the City of Toronto. It's particularly special to be receiving this on Early Childhood Educator Appreciation Day, a special day for the childcare community. As Mayor Chow, a longtime childcare advocate herself knows, and all of you here know, quality early childhood educators are at the heart of any quality childcare program. This has always been fundamental to advocacy for all of us in the childcare movement in Toronto and across Canada. Centers such as the one we're standing in, the publicly operated Blake Early Learning and Childcare Center, which I do know well because I did with my grandchildren, as did my husband Michael, several times a week for 4 years actually. So, but it exemplifies what we're talking about, the importance of qualified, decently paid, valued early childhood educators. Thanks to Blake for hosting us here today. I also want to acknowledge the educators, the childcare groups, the allies, the unions, the colleagues, the friends, and the City of Toronto folks who are here this morning. I've had the benefit of being part of this 50-year struggle for universal quality childcare with all of you. And that is only those of you who are as old as I am, because a lot of you are a lot younger than I am, which is absolutely fantastic. And I really want to speak a little bit about Canada's childcare context today and put this in perspective. So as you know, after the years and years of advocacy for our vision of a childcare system for all children, we were finally successful when the Canada-wide early learning and childcare system was put on the table in the federal budget in April of 2021. And since then, as it's being rolled out, many of us across Canada, that is inside government and outside government at all levels, have been working flat out for the best possible outcomes. As we know, what's popularly called the $10 a day childcare plan is not only about much lower parent fees, down to $10 a day or less, but the plan is a package. It includes, yes, much lower fees for parents. It also includes many more spaces that are equally distributed so that parents have a place to go. It includes much better organized, more sustainable public funding to centers and home child care that's provided along with public accountability, which I really want to emphasize. It relies not on big box or cottage industry for-profit child care, but on public and nonprofit provision. It includes much more public planning and much more public management. Better quality, better quality, better quality, better quality. Can't emphasize that enough. And it recognizes that early childhood educators are professionals with decent wages and compensation and good working conditions. We know that childcare needs to be treated as an essential public service, not as a commodity and not as a luxury. So why am I saying this today to the converted? guys. I think if there's a converted group, this would be you guys. Because although we've been able to secure historic commitments that, given enough time and resources, can be translated into the visionary system we've long advocated for, it may or it may not happen. And we can see that happening around us. We're not the only ones who have a big interest in childcare. Our view of childcare is considered a threat to some. As we've seen in this week's center shutdown by a group of for-profit operators on the stream of constant right-wing media that's declaring the $10 a day plan a failure. And this has been constant. So I'm here saying we have much work to do, continuing to advocate at all levels of government and across Canada for all the elements of the childcare system we've long envisioned. This is what I plan to be doing in the coming year with as many of you and other colleagues as possible. And in closing, I want to thank you, Olivia, for this honor. It really means a lot to me that it comes from you, an advocate that I've worked with for many years, so thank you very much. And thanks to the City of Toronto and all of you for coming.
Thank you so much for those remarks, and congratulations again on being the first recipient of the Key to the City under Mayor Olivia Chow. This brings the formal ceremony to a close. After some photos, Martha and the mayor, I'm sure, will join a short tour of the center, and I invite you all to stay for refreshments, which are at the back, for this morning's thing. Thanks once again for coming here to honor Martha Friendly today. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the job. Well, especially if it's marriage. That's why I do this.